Good morning, grade 4 students. Welcome to your scientific day with Miss Shara. Let's begin with our work plan. We'll have science bits. What's the difference? We'll do discussion and we'll have feast 2, 5. So for your science bits, you have to tell me everything what comes into your mind as you see the picture shown to you. This is our science bits for today. What really happens in the 2020 since January 1? January 1, 2020 marked the beginning of a brand new decade that many looked at with optimism and as a chance at a new lease on life. But as summer 2020 progresses, many are wondering if this year can get any worse. There's a lot of series of things that happens that are devastating. We have a string of wildfires, airplane crashes in Iran and Pakistan, the death of basketball legend Kobe Bryant, social unrest over the killing of George Floyd, the deadly explosion in Beirut, and our Taal volcano explosion, and various natural disasters, all under the cloud of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. So coronavirus is still here. The World Health Organization announced January 9 that a deadly coronavirus had emerged in Wuhan, China. In a matter of months, the virus has spread across the globe to more than 20 million people, resulting in at least 751,000 deaths. That's so many. Deadly wildfires erupted from California to Washington state, burning millions of acres and displacing hundreds of thousands of people since mid-August. So look at the series of events that happened since January 1 until today. So most of it, what happened? It leaves a lot of debris. It leaves a lot of deaths. What happens to this debris? What happens to these deaths? What happens to these buildings? Right? Our lesson for today. Let us read our learning target. Okay, let me read it for you. I can classify materials whether it's decaying or non-decaying. Two, I can explain the effects of decaying material. So what will happen to those hundreds of thousands of people who died? What happens to those buildings that collapses? Okay, during the series of events that happens starting January 1. Let us find out. So classifying materials. Decaying and non-decaying, effects of decaying material. So that will be your lesson covered for today. So what is the difference between decaying and rotting? Rot is to suffer decomposition due to biological action. Look at the fruits rotting, especially by fungi or bacteria, while decay is to deteriorate, to get worse, to lose strength or health, or to decline in quality. So in this picture, you can see rotting fruits. In decaying, okay, the difference between rotting and decaying, in decaying, it's a slowly deteriorating to get worse, right? What's the difference? Some things die and decay and others don't. A walk in the park teaches that leaves, logs, and animals are examples of things that decay or rot. When we bury apple, potato, and banana skins, bread, a plastic tray, and an aluminum can for a month, what do you think will happen if we unearth it again? We can see what decays and what does not. Some things that don't decay can be recycled. Those that do not enrich the earth. We can see living things decompose, providing resources that allow new life to flourish. Okay, before we continue with our discussion, let us define some terms that we can hear during our talk. First, spoliage. Spoliage means condition of being decay or damage. Two, molds, a fungus that cause foods to decay. Next, we have foul odor. So foul odor means bad odor. Disease-causing bacteria. These are sickness caused by bacteria. So these are our vocabulary words for today. What is decaying materials? So decaying materials are wastes that may cause harm to one's health. Decay means to be slowly destroyed into bits in the presence of water, air, and soil. So you can look at the picture. What can you say about the picture? So this shows the example or an example of decaying materials. Look at the flower. It is in the process of decomposing. Same with the dog. So once a living things died, it will go into a process of decomposing or decaying. Here are some examples of materials that undergo decay. The first one is fruits and vegetables. So they undergo decay. And then we have the leftover foods. So all types of foods can undergo decay. We have bread, dead plants, dead animals, animals manure. So even us, our poop can also undergo decay. Right. So what are the factors that contribute to the decaying process of the materials? We have four examples here. So this can help whether the decaying process is slow or fast. First one is sunlight, water, soil, and microorganisms. How will you know that a material is decaying? So let us see an example. A material is decaying when it has molds. So if you can see molds on top of the bread or the fruit, then it is decaying. Next, a material is decaying when bubbles are forming. So if you will look at your viand and then you lift the cover and there's bubbles inside, that means it's already decaying. It's already rotten. A material is decaying when it has foul odor, stinky odor. When it has worms, all right, that is maggots. So it comes from flies. So when there is maggots or worms, that means it is already. What will happen to the decayed materials? In our modern day human culture, decomposition and decay have often come to be viewed quite negatively. The former is mainly associated with things that are rotten, have a bad smell, and are generally symptomatic of death. So when there's decaying or decomposing, that means someone or something dies. So the latter is similarly viewed as undesirable. Why? Okay, because it is associated with dying or death. However, decomposition and decay are vital processes in nature. They play an essential role in the breakdown of organic matter, recycling it and making it available again for new organisms to utilize. Decomposition and decay are very important to growth. everything dies. That is a fact. And without decomposition and decay, the world would overflow with plant and animal remains. It will also experience a decline in new growth due to a shortage of nutrients that would be locked up and unavailable in the dead forms. So it is very important. Decomposition and decaying process is very important in our ecosystem. So let us see what those decayed materials. So these are the organic matter in soil. It is derived from plants and animals. It becomes organic fertilizer. So these are animal manure. We can use them as fertilizer for plants. Next is we can also convert it into fossil fuels such as coals, oils, and natural gas. So these are the good effects of decayed materials. We can use it for growth of plants and animals, or it can enrich the soil when we use it as fertilizer, and then we can have it as fuels. All right, let's have three vocabulary words again. We have biodegradable, degradable, and compostable. So what's the difference between the three? Biodegradable substances are those that degrades or break down naturally. Non-biodegradable substances are those that do not degrade easily. This term itself defines the ability of the substances which are degradable or not. So when we say biodegradable, it can break down easily. If it's non-biodegradable, then it does not break down easily. So degradable bags should only be used for and placed into your general waste bin. Like degradable bags, biodegradable are often still plastic bags. What's the difference? They have microorganism added to them so that they can break down. So there's organism in the plastics that can break down the plastics. What are compostable? Compostable bags are made of natural plants such as starch, and they do not produce any toxic materials. So the degradable, that means it can break down easily. Biodegradable, these are materials such as plastics that has additional organism that can help them degrade or decompose. Then we have the compostable. So that means these are materials that is used that is organic. So it's not toxic. It is easily degradable that you can put in the soil and use as organic materials. Oh, look at this picture. These are all different uh, m- matter. Okay, we talk about general properties of matter, physical properties of matter, chemical properties of matter. Now we can classify materials according to their properties. Like in the picture, we have different drums that contains different materials with the same properties. So which one is degradable, which one is compostable, and which one is biodegradable. These are the examples of degradable materials. Dead animals, dead fish. So these are the degradable materials that you can see in the ocean. We have fruits or leftover foods. These are examples of degradable materials. The first one, we have the non-degradable materials. And then we have the degradable materials. What happened to the other waste? Look, these are mixed. No, we have degradable and non-degradable together and just spilling or lying on top of our soil, littering around. So what will happen if the environment is like this? What will be the effect to humans, animals, and plants? Now let's talk about the effects of decaying materials in the environment. So if we are living in those kind of environment and we are exposed to these decaying materials all the time, what will happen? We will get diseases or we will get sick. What do you mean by disease? A disease is a condition that prevents the body or mind from working normally. Disease is an illness that affects a person, animal, or plant. Not proper disposal of decaying waste allows flies, cockroaches, rats, and mosquitoes to breed or live in the street, makes you sick and may cause the following. So these are the sickness that you can get. One is malaria, a disease spread by mosquitoes is causing a high fever and chills. Leptospirosis is an infectious disease that causes symptoms such as fever, headache, and chills. You get this from the wee-wee of rats. When you soak your feet when there's flood, then you can get leptospirosis. Next is dengue. This is also coming from mosquitoes. Of course, if there's a lot of decaying matters, there is foul odor. We also have disease-causing bacteria. It causes weakening of your body and makes you sick. We have cholera. It's a serious bacterial disease that can cause severe diarrhea and dehydration. What is diarrhea? It is a discharge from the bowels frequently in a liquid form. Have you experienced having diarrhea when you eat something that is not good for your tummy? So you get poo-poo all the time, frequent bowel movement. Then we have food poisoning. So food poisoning means you eat something that cause illness. These are caused by bacteria or other toxins in food. Typically, you will vomit and you will get diarrhea. So you have to be very careful in looking or eating food. It might have already in the process of decomposing or decaying, and when you eat it, what will happen? You'll get food poisoning. Ayan, look at what will happen to the man. Oh, so there's a lot of, you get very, very sick. And look at the lady. Her tummy is aching because of food poisoning. Look at those pile of trashes. So have you ever think of what happens to the trash before you put them in the trash bin? Or what will happen if you put them in the trash bin and the garbage collectors are getting them? Let us find out.
Wait, hold on a second. Before you throw anything in the trash, think about this first. Did you know that the city of Tacoma produces almost 160,000 tons of garbage per year? That's enough to fill 2 Tacoma domes. Despite our efforts to recycle and reuse things, many items are still finding their way to the landfill. One thing you can do is be a smart shopper. Before you buy something new, ask yourself, can I find the same thing in a secondhand store? Is what I'm buying made from recycled materials? Can the packaging be recycled? When you buy anything, think about what resources are being used. If you buy things you don't need, more natural resources are removed from the environment and may ultimately end up in a landfill. Also, before you throw anything away, see if you can reuse or repair it. Ask yourself, can it be recycled, composted, donated to charity, or sold to someone else who can benefit from it? This keeps it out of the landfill. Some things do need to be thrown into the garbage. But where does your garbage go? You empty your garbage into the green bin. On collection day, you wheel your bin to the curb. Also, leave some space between the containers, where a City of Tacoma truck picks it up and transports it to the Tacoma Recovery and Transfer Center, which used to be called our landfill. However, the city's landfill is full. We now have to take the city's garbage to a landfill in Pierce County, and that's 30 miles away. This landfill currently receives over 1 million tons per year. That's enough to fill almost 13 Tacoma domes. One day, this facility will also fill up. And then what will we do? Do we build another landfill further away, using up more land and resources? Or can we start thinking smarter? Let's do our part to reduce waste and conserve our natural resources. Think before you buy or throw something away. You'll not only save money, but you can also reduce your garbage bill by using a smaller garbage container. Do your part in protecting the environment, conserving natural resources, and contributing to a sustainable future. We can all do more to keep Tacoma beautiful.